All right, it's Coach Micheal Burt. It is Sunday night. Gosh, I love Sunday nights. So I'm out here at my lodge today working on a book. If you can see this book, it's called Screw Your Why, right? How to find your skill and find your problem and watch your purpose find you. This is a book that I have literally wanted to write for years. It's actually chapter 2 of the book Flip the Switch, which was a Wall Street Journal bestseller for me. And I've been working on chapter 1 of this book. Big shout out to Jana Creel for her help in basically putting this together, taking a lot of my thoughts, putting it together, adding research to it. And I think it's going to be an incredible book because the stats do not lie to me, okay? And some of the stats that I'm using for this book, just so you know, this will blow your mind, folks. Let's see if I can get to them down here. 67% of Americans have zero written life plan. 57% of Americans say they wonder at least monthly how to find more meaning and purpose. 21% of people say they talk about it every single freaking day. 23 think about it weekly. 75% of purpose have little or no purpose in life. 75% of Americans have little or no purpose in life. 65% of college students graduate with a degree in something and then do something totally unrelated to the degree. Now, so many years ago, you guys know that there was a very popular book, and actually to write this book, I read those books, and it was Simon Sinek's Start With Why. And he did a TED Talk that had millions and millions of views, kind of urging you to never lead with what you do, always lead with what you believe, which I agree with. And that people didn't buy what you did, but they bought why you did it. I actually disagree with that part. I don't think that people care why you do what you do. I actually believe that people do business with other people who believe the same things they do. So this comes out, and then he figured out that, hey, I'm telling people to start with why, but people haven't actually found their why, right? And so he writes, find your why. Now, I go around the United States. I'm speaking at all these conferences, and everywhere I went and on every podcast I was on, people would say, what's your why, Coach Burt? What is your why? Okay. And this just irritated me because people would say kind of politically correct answers, like I'm doing it for my family, or I'm doing it for my kids, or I'm doing it to help these people. And I just began to think deeper about this concept and more philosophically about this concept. And I would do things like pick up the phone and call my top coaching students. And I would say, why do you do what you do? Like, what's your why? And they typically said the same thing. They said, I don't know my why. It's just who I am. Okay. It's just who I am. And I thought about that and I thought, okay, I don't think people need to find their why. I think you could know your why and still not be motivated. I think you could know your purpose and be completely broke. I think you could know your why and like wake up some days and go, I don't want to do this today. I think you could know your purpose and struggle from day to day to like find which problem you're supposed to be solving. So I began saying, I was at a conference in Dallas, Texas. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was doing kind of a breakout session after I spoke, and a guy raised his hand. He said, Coach Burt, what's your thoughts about finding your why? And I just like this said, man, I think you need to screw your why. Now with my Southern accent, a lot of people thought I said screw your wife, but I said screw your why. Okay. And it's like, as soon as I said that, the crowd went wild. And they came up to me afterwards and said, thank God. It's like, I feel like such a loser because I have not found my why. And so I wrote about this in chapter 2 of Flip the Switch. And then I thought, man, I'm going to write that as a book. It's going to be controversial. It's going to be people that don't like it because they're thinking surface level. But this book is going to go deeper. Okay. It's going to go deeper into not finding your why. I found my purpose at 15 years old, and I wasn't even looking for it. right? I got asked by a little league baseball coach to help him coach junior pro basketball. I was a point guard, right? It's like I said yes. Thank God I said yes, and I went down and started coaching. And the minute I started coaching, I'm like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Like this is my life's path. And then I had a trajectory. Go to high school, be a head coach, win a championship, go be a college coach. And then when I wrote my first book at 25 years old, it's like okay, I'm going to go out and talk about this book. And I went out and talked about the book, and it's like, man, I like this. Like I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And right, like I want to seat at a much bigger table. And then I went to go around the world, and I no longer wanted to help 30 people a year. I wanted to help 30 million people a year. And so I kind of fell into my purpose. And so I make the argument in this book that you don't need to find your why, you need to find your skills. And this is a lot about what I coach people on. Like we need to find your primary skill. We need to help you find the exact problem that you were put on earth to solve. Like it is a perfect match between your skill and their problem. And then we need to help you locate the vehicle or create the vehicle to distribute your skill through. That would get you a seat at a much bigger table and help you reach your goals, financial goals, spiritual goals. Think of time freedom, money freedom, relationship freedom, purpose freedom. We need to help you do these things. So we don't need to find our why, because I can know my why and be broke. Like I'm supposed to be helping. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing this. I can know my why and go, I don't want to do this today. So what I like better, guys, is I actually like finding your because goals. Okay. And a because goal is a big reason you do something when you don't feel like it. Okay. Like today I went to the gym. I'm trying a new gym out because I felt like I was getting a little out of shape. I felt like I was gaining some weight and I didn't like the way I felt. So I didn't find my why. I found my because goals. And the because goal said, hey, man, after church today, go to the gym and get back into lifting and get back into doing what you got to do. Okay. And let's get out of this inertia. So a because goal is a big reason you do something when you don't feel like it. I prospect daily because I want to hit my goals, because I want to have a bigger house, because I want a place on the ocean, because I want to fly private, because I want to not worry about money, whatever your goals are. Because goals, big reasons you do things when you don't feel like it. I show up because that's the way I was raised. We don't whine, we don't complain, we don't make excuses. So psychologists tell us that great people that do great things in the world typically develop a concept of themselves very early in life. Okay. And if you go back in your life and you look at certain behaviors, because we're going to actually define a skill as a behavior. Like I have the skill of activating people. I've had that skill since I was a little kid, right? And a coach at 6 years old saw it in me. Then my high school coach saw it in me. Then a mentor saw it in me. It's like the skill was there. I needed to locate it. I needed to open it. I needed to use it. Then I needed to find what problem do I want to solve with my skill. For 13 years, it was coaching high school basketball, inner engineering teams, amalgamating talent, winning championships, working the muscle, right? And then it became writing books and speaking. Now it's becoming using the skill in bigger ways to do bigger things. I'm still doing all of those things, but it's also including raising capital and activating brands and helping people find their skills. So if you would ask me many years ago that, hey, coach, your skill is going to be, or your purpose is going to be helping other people locate their purpose, I'd have been like, no, it's not. That's not what my skill is going to be. But I didn't sign up for this, okay? God had a path for me. This is how we're going to use your talent, sir. You're going to use your talent. You're going to help people get clear. You're going to help them choose an aiming point. You're going to install a confidence and a boldness. You're going to give them direction. They're going to go do big things in the world. And they're going to come back and say, thank you. I owe you. And that, my friends, is going to give you a sense of purpose. So what is a because goal again? It's a big reason you do something when you don't feel like it. I do this because of this. It's not finding your why. Most people lie when they talk about finding their why anyway. They say what they think will be appropriate. Oh, I'm doing this for my kids. Or I'm doing this for my husband. I'm doing this for my wife. I'm doing this for my mama. I'm doing this for my grandmother. Now, okay, that's what people say. All right. I do this because of these reasons, man. Okay. When I don't feel like doing something, I go into my because goals. So with my coaching students on Monday, I'm going to go into how do you locate your because goals? Okay. And how do you fight through your feelings? And how do you do things you don't want to do to get a result that other people won't be willing to get? Because they're over here finding their why, and I'm teaching people to find their skill. And if I can locate the skill, sum it up into one word, find the right problem to solve, I actually believe my purpose will find me. So I start this book off by saying, I found my purpose at 15 years old, but I didn't find it. It found me. And it found me through a question. Now, why did that guy ask me that question? See, now we get deep because he saw something in me. I remember it like it was yesterday. Will you help me coach this team? Because you seem to have good leadership skills, good activation skills. See, he saw this in me at 15. I didn't see it. So I lucked into locating my purpose. But then once I got the ball, I freaking ran with it. I went to coaches and mentors and studied and paid to be in the room with the right people and got better. And right now you say, well, why don't those people make that much money, man? How do they make that much money per hour? Like I could never make that much money per hour. Yes, you could. If your skill was strong enough. The people with the strongest skills typically make the most money unless they have marketing problems. So some people don't have a talent problem. They have a packaging and marketing problem. Or they don't have direction of the aiming point, or these are all the things we coach people on, folks. So if you're out there watching this, if you're in our coaching program on Monday, I'll be breaking this down in our virtual session, how to find your because goals, how to screw your why, how to find your skill, how to find your because goals, and then how to find that vehicle. So this is a little variance, a little wrinkle on how I coach, but it's not find your why, find your because goals. Okay. If you want to learn more about this, or if you want to, visit with me, go to coachburt.com, click on book a call, book a strategy call. And for people that are interested in our programs or knowing more about what we do, this really is life-changing for people. All right. I'll be in Austin, Texas on Tuesday speaking. I'll be in Dallas, Texas on Wednesday. I'll be at Knoxville, Tennessee on Thursday. So it's going to be a great week out there on tour. And I can see it. I can see it vividly in my mind. Maybe 2026, the Screw Your Why Tour and find your skill. I'm Coach. Make it a great night. Love you guys.